Lettuce is a fun, healthy, and enriching snack to give your dog, and there are so many different ways that you can use a single head of lettuce, not only to give your dog a good snack, but to enrich them and engage their brain and really make them work while they are playing. So let's break down a number of different ways that you can use a single head of lettuce while engaging with your dog. Now, as always, you want to make sure that you are cleaning the things that you're giving to your dog before you're giving it to them, and we want to make sure that they're not consuming too much of it. This is a healthy snack for them, so if your dog likes the flavor, totally cool for them to eat it, but you don't want them to necessarily eat the entire thing in one sitting. So just make sure you're being mindful of this. And we're going to break down ways to extend the life of this as well. So let's start off with the most popular, and that is just to hand a head of lettuce to your dog and let them figure out how to play. They might unwrap it. They might take chunks out of it. They might turn it into confetti. They might do a lot of different things with it. And making sure that you are there to monitor and to play with is such a fun opportunity for you to bond with your dog, because you can show them how to peel back the layers. You can show them how to toss it around like a toy. You can show them lots of different things with it to be enriching and to be engaging. But you don't have to give them an entire head of lettuce, because let's face it, if you're giving them an entire head of lettuce, you're basically throwing that head of lettuce away. You can't really reuse it unless you're doing it slightly later in the day, because they've just had their faces all over it, and you're not going to want to keep that in your refrigerator, and you're certainly not going to want to let those germs hang out for a prolonged period of time. So maybe you do want to give them an entire head of lettuce just to try, just for fun, but maybe you also want to divide it up. Or maybe you personally would like salad for dinner and you're going to split this with your dog and not give them the entire head of lettuce. So a really fun and easy way to deal with this is just to divide it in half or divide it in quarters. This way your dog has part of it, but not all of it. If you are cutting it into halves or quarters, you are unfortunately going to lose some of the element of unwrapping the head of lettuce, but not all dogs do that anyway. Some of them just take chunks out of it. Some of them just move the different pieces. So if you're cutting it, it's much easier for them to get into it. So that will allow them to take off their leaves themselves. That will allow them to kind of spread it out all over the place. And I do recommend, if you are playing with lettuce with your dog, that you're doing it outside, you're doing it on a porch with like a plastic tablecloth down or something. Just make it easy pickup, because you do not want critters coming into your space after you're done to get the leftovers. So make sure you have some kind of clean place to do this. I don't recommend doing this on your carpet or on your hardwood floors, or not even necessarily in your dog crates. Be wise about where you're doing this, and then you're going to be able to hand them either that half or that quarter of the lettuce, and the rest of it you can use later on for yourself or as another playtime for your dog the next day or 2 days later. Of course, we know that lettuce doesn't last super long, so you can't prolong it too terribly long, but this is a really good one, especially when they need a little bit of hydration, especially in the summer. Lettuce is going to be a fun one. So you can do halves, you can do those quarter wedges as well. Another really fun thing that I like to do is put treats inside of the lettuce. And you can do this kind of with a whole head of lettuce, but also you can very much do this with those halves and quarters. Because if you take some of their pieces of dog food or little treats and you bury it inside of the lettuce, now your dog has to unwrap that chunk of lettuce to get to the other yummy snacks. So they can eat the lettuce wrapping, they can eat the special treats that you've got inside, or they can just unwrap it, eat the treats, and then deal with the lettuce. They can do a lot. There's a lot of choices for them inside of this one. So hiding things is almost like a snuffle mat that they can then eat. So there's very much an opportunity for you to change things up. So one day you might just want to have them eat a wedge and play with that. Another day you might want to actually hide things in there so they never know what they're going to get. Make it surprising, make it different, make it interesting. Now, of course, I mentioned this before. Some dogs like to turn it into confetti. Some dogs don't necessarily like to eat the lettuce. They just like to shred it. I have 3 dogs, 2 English Springer Spaniels who absolutely love to eat it, and a Pomeranian who eats a little bit of it but prefers to turn it into confetti. And she'll take a leaf, she'll get it between her little paws, and she will just rip little pieces and toss them in the air, and she has the most fun with it. I know my English Springers love it. They love tearing things apart. They love to eat the snacks. They love playing with it. But I don't think anybody has more fun than my little Pomeranian, Ember. She just loves to turn it into confetti. And it's a really fun task for her to then do, because she doesn't get to do a lot of tearing. She's a little dog. This is something that's easy. It's not going to damage her teeth, and it's not going to cause any problems other than making a mess. But that's why we put something down for easy cleanup after. And then she can eat it if she chooses to eat it. Or my other puppies can eat the confetti that she makes if that's what's going to work best for us. But we don't want to just limit it to just handing some lettuce to our dogs. You can also use lettuce in frozen treats. So if you are making ice cubes, if you're making little popsicles for your dogs, you can take lettuce and kind of shred it up or not shred it up and put it inside of your ice cube tray and then pour the water or the bone broth on it and have it as part of what you're giving them. You can also include things like blueberries and strawberries and other fruits and vegetables that are good and healthy for dogs to have as an occasional snack inside of these ice cubes or ice bowls, which we've talked about before. We've done some really cool ice bowl videos. I'll link some of those for you down below because that's a way to level it up, especially for the summer. But you can put some lettuce in there, again, either as a whole piece, part of a whole piece, or little pieces of confetti to give your dog something that is going to be healthy for them and a fun snack and some fun colors as well, without just handing them that head of lettuce. And then, of course, you can, when you're done, take whatever lettuce you have left and just shred it up and put it inside of their bowls. You can have that as part of the food that they are going to be eating every morning, every night, whenever you're feeding your dog. Use it as a topper. You don't even have to make it confetti. You can literally just hand them a piece every once in a while. So if you are someone who likes salads, I personally love salads. They are my favorite thing. That's what I always order when I go out to restaurants almost every single time because I love them so much. You can then take it and you can grab just a leaf from your head of lettuce, or you can grab some smaller pieces or shredded lettuce and just use it as toppers inside of their bowls or their lick mats or whatever it happens to be. Because it's new and it's interesting. It's a new texture. It's crunchy. It's something that is going to be different. And so that way we're not wasting these things. Like I said, you can give them the whole head of lettuce. It can be a little bit wasteful, so you can kind of put it in a bag and then use it as a topper at some point. You can, split it between your different dogs, split it between different days for your dog, or split it between you and your dog so that you've got options and we're not wasting a lot of these things. Heads of lettuce are pretty cheap, relatively speaking. So this is a good every once in a while treat for your dog that's not going to be really expensive like some dog treats are. And it's just a fun activity to do. And because it's lettuce, it's also pretty quiet. Like, this is a pretty quiet thing that your dog can be doing. It has a little bit of a crunch, a little bit of a tear when they rip apart the head of lettuce, but all in all, it's a pretty quiet treat for them. So this is going to be a very easy one for you to then offer your dog, especially during the summer, for some enrichment, for some playtime, for some snack time. And there's a lot that you can do with this as well. Drop your suggestions and tips for how we can be using lettuce in new and creative ways to enrich our dogs' lives and to give them those yummy snacks. Also, drop your favorite types of salad for you as a human, because again, I'm a massive salad fan. Like, elite. I love a good salad, and I would love to hear what kinds you like, what you typically put in your salads, because I'd like to connect on a human level with you as well. And then, of course, follow along for our daily videos helping you navigate the world of dog parenthood to help you level up for your pup to give them the best life possible with the least amount of stress and overwhelm on you. We'll see you in tomorrow's episode.